Hey, what is up, guys? We are here with the Sonya character breakdown. If you haven't seen our breakdown videos before, we talk about a character's notable normals, strings, special moves, differences between their variations, as well as just go over a basic game plan. So Sonya has pretty average walk speed forward and back. The one thing that helps her with her mobility is her really fast run speed and a couple of her special moves, which we'll get into when we talk about those. Besides that, Sonya, when it comes to her strings and normals, she has a bunch of different strings that are launchers and really important in her combos and stuff like that. But I didn't want to cover those. I didn't want to get things too convoluted. I just wanted to cover a couple of her basic best strings and normals. So her best normal is definitely forward 2. Lunging mid attack like that, it is 0 on block, which means you're in there, right? Really nice that you have an advancing normal. It is also special cancelable if you feel the need to do that. So you can use it at the end of combos to kind of lunge forward and stuff like that. Really great. Besides that, her back 1-4, overhead low. So that is, really key to her mix-up. And it's special cancelable, so you can combo into whatever you want from it. Thing is, back 3-3-2 is her low starter. So she has a low and an overhead starter, as well as some really good footsie tools and a lot of really good launchers for juggles and stuff like that. So, yeah, really neat character. I recommend checking out the rest of her strings yourself. Now, when it comes to her special moves, she has a couple universal ones. Some of the ones that help her with her mobility. Down 4, this little dive kick. The crazy part about this is that, yeah, as you can see that was actually a combo. It's like really plus. Like, you have enough time to actually confirm whether it hits or not and then go into a string, which is really great. Really unsafe on block, though. The other thing that helps her get around is her down back 4. It's this arc kick right here. If it hits, knockdown. Really good. The EX version is super fast, goes through projectiles. It can hit multiple times, but from full screen, it's definitely not going to get that many hits. Her projectile, back 4-2. Looks like that. EX version is also still a high, but does pretty good damage. And it's actually a pretty fast projectile, surprisingly. So she can shoot, pretty decently against other zoners and stuff like that. She can trade if she has the life lead. It's pretty good. The other thing that's, universal to Sonya, this is like classic Sonya. Back forward 4 is her arc kick. Really good if you want to switch sides. If you're in the corner, you can do something like this, or whoops, like that, and then put your opponent in the corner instead of you. So neat stuff like that. You can use it to end your combo, and it's also a really damaging ender for her combos. To be honest, does a lot of damage. So let's talk about Covert Ops, which is the stance we're in. Now the Covert Ops stance is kind of like the classic Sonya, right? This is like the stuff that she's known for because it has military stance. It has an air throw as well, and it has her parry. Those are her 3 moves. So her air throw looks like that. As you can see there, just does a little knee drop. Does a bunch of damage. Really good for ending combos and stuff like that, as well as converting off airborne hits. The other thing she has is her parry, which I will show you guys by having Liu Kang punch me. Whoops. Okay. So the parry can do a couple different things, right? There is 2 different ways to go out of it, and they look like this. So 2 and 4 do one thing, which is a forward strike that does a lot of damage, and 3 and 1 do something else, which is a side switch that does a little bit less damage, right? So that's what they look like. Now the EX version of the parry can actually be comboed off of or be done into a standing reset. So 2 and 4 have a little bounce like that, and 1 and 3 do a side switch into a standing reset, which looks like this. Right, nice, lots of plus frames to walk up and do stuff after. So that is her parry. Her military stance also has 4 options. It's down back 2, puts her in the stance. 2 again cancels the stance. So her 1 is a throw. Her 3 is a low, and her 4 is an overhead. So that means that when you do this, you have some mix-up options off of it because it's also a launcher, right? So you have an overhead or a low version or a throw. So she has a lot of mix-up potential in Covert Ops. That's kind of like Sonya's thing, right? That's always been her thing with military stance, good pressure, good mix-ups, and a very offensive variation for the character. That's like her main, this stuff into combo is like her main thing, right? Like that is what Sonya does. Cartwheel into combo, classic stuff. So let's take a look at the other 2 variations, which are actually pretty similar because they are more like the tech version of Sonya, and they have a lot of cool mix-ups that you can do in a couple of different ways. So as you may notice, in the bottom left of Sonya's leg, there is now some grenades. Now, she gains a couple of unique strings with this grenade. One of them is 112, right? That is the string she gains. Has a little explosion on it, and that is only in demolition. That's one of the things. So when it comes to these grenades, she has a couple of different things she can do. She has down back 1, which is frag grenades. As you can see there, they have a little pop-up on it. You can throw them close or far. or mid, right? So that right there is the grenade replenish. So when you're out of grenades, you hit down, down 1. You get a little drone that brings you some grenades and you get them back. So you can tell if they're gone or not by the little indicator on her leg when it turns blue. Needs more grenades. There's also an EX version of the grenade get. It looks like this. And they just come out and throw a grenade for you. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So yeah, grenades. Pretty neat, right? And as you saw there, when I have all 3 grenades missing, it actually throws 3 out. So yeah, another thing that's important about this is she has a wake-up attack that's specific to this. So, you know, she has stun grenades, close, far, and mid as well as her frag grenade. And the EX versions of both of them look the exact same. Whoops. So this makes her pressure really good because, like, suddenly she has, like, grenade toss to, like, go for resets and mix-ups and stuff like that. But she doesn't have military stance in this, so keep that in mind. So her combos work a little bit different. But yeah, this wake-up attack, I'll show you guys. It's pretty simple. You get it by just doing X when you're on the ground. The rule is you have to have at least 2 grenades because it costs 2 grenades to do. And like the thing is, this has a really big hitbox on it. So let me make him whiff. Okay. Oh, whoops. I missed the input right there. Oh, really? Am I out of grenades? No, I'm not. How am I messing this up? So yeah, it has a really, really large hitbox on it. And it'll pretty much catch whatever your opponent sticks out. Plus, it's super safe since she rolls all the way back. So she gains a new wake up in this version. That's really, really safe, really good idea. And, you know, these grenade setups as well. So that is Demolition Sonya. You'll notice that the variations from Sonya are relatively simple. There's not a bunch of huge changes between each one. So yeah, and Special Forces, she gains another unique normal, back 2. It's a lunging uppercut like that. That is a launcher you can combo off of. So that's really good because it's good in footsies, good for combos, and kind of helps her out. Now you notice these green gauntlets here. So remember that drone we had last time? That is now a pretty good move for her. So if you hit 1 and block at the same time, it does a little close move like this. I'll show you guys. Overhead. Pretty neat, right? And you'll see the drone starts to blink at the end. When the drone is blinking, that means it's going to leave pretty soon. That's how you can tell. So 2 and block is a homing projectile, which is really great because you can do unsafe stuff to get in and cover yourself with the homing projectile. So that's pretty good. The drone's about to run out again. The other 2 are kamikaze attacks with the drone. So there's mid kamikaze, excuse me, and there is low kamikaze. So those are 2 things. So when you see the drone blinking and you know it's about to run out, you can just do that and the drone will fly in and explode. So that gives her another way to open people up with projectiles and stuff like that. It's also really good because if you do like the low and then you follow it up with your arc kick, you can get in pretty easily. Or the homing projectile too is really good for that. So the other thing about the drone is you can park it, right? By hitting down, down 1 again, it'll stay there. So now you have like a full screen, like, you know, way to do stuff with your drone. And you can unpark it at any time by hitting down, down 1 again. So that is the unique thing about this. Park it, and then if I want to move it back to me, I just hit down, down 1 again. Boom, it's over here. Homing. Arc kick in. I'm in there. And yeah, pretty great, right? So that covers Sonya's approach, right? So in matchups where Sonya, you know, is not great at getting in, she's having trouble reaching you, that could be really great because you can use that to shut down your opponent's zoning and just get yourself in there with your arc kick or your run-up dive kick or just running in behind it. And suddenly things get pretty dangerous for your opponent. So yes, that has been Sonya Blade. Not a ton of differences between her variations, but just little things that help her approach or maybe just give her more mix-ups for you know, military stance, stuff like that. So yeah, Sonya Blade, character breakdown. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. She's a fun character. I'll see you guys again soon.